Hey everybody, welcome to Coffee Break with Amanda and I. Today we're going to talk a little bit about paint color. Really important stuff about paint color. We get this question a lot. Every consult we go to, someone's asking us about paint color and they want recommendations. Even if they just painted, they want to know if the paint color in their space is the right paint color for their space.
Because how many times have you painted, you found a color that you loved online or in a store, and then you get home and you painted, and you're like, oh my God, this is not the same color. It's all wrong.
Yes.
That happens.
All the time, all the time. So we're going to talk about a few of the basics that you can take away today whenever you're, shopping around for paint colors. Make sure you get the right ones. And of course, if you need any help selecting the right ones, you can just call us. But here's a little bit of insight for you guys. First things first, I know that you might want a really bold color. You might walk in and be like, oh my God, that yellow or that orange is perfect. It's gonna be great in my bedroom or my spare bedroom or in my closet. Calm down. That's not always the best option. My advice immediately is if you fall in love with a color in the store, go a shade lighter. That's literally always my piece of advice. Go one shade lighter. If you love the color, one shade lighter, and it'll probably do you really well. So that's piece of advice number one, because typically the color you're looking at in a vast store with crazy overhead lighting and it's LED and it's gonna look so much lighter on that little tiny swatch than it will when it's all over your walls in your bedroom. So
It's true.
one shade lighter, pretty good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Second rule of thumb, Amanda, cut me off anytime. Second rule of thumb is always make sure that when you're painting your home, literally your entire home, have a primary color and then have secondary colors. The primary color in our design world, at least the way that we design, should cover at least 60% of your home.
Yes.
That's the primary color in your home. Then you have your secondary colors that fill in the other 40%.
Right.
So you have, your primary color is a Seattle mist for your entire property. That's Benjamin Moore. And then your bathroom might be a Hale Navy, and your dining room might be, like a Stonington gray. And then you go into your bedroom and you have like a Newburgh green. So those make up the 40%, but the main living space, the hallways, the living room, the staircases, the closets, that makes up the 60%.
Right. And they all work together.
Absolutely.
All of these colors work together to create a beautiful palette.
Yeah. And what's really cool is then at any point when you're going down the road and you're like changing paint colors in your house, you always have that primary color to come back to.
Exactly.
So you can always say like, does this color go with that primary color? So that is how we design, is with primary color, secondary colors. Another big piece of advice are the sheens.
Yes.
The sheens.
The sheens. Super important.
Yes.
We have flat, we have eggshell, we have satin, we have semi-gloss, and we have a high gloss.
And how stressful is that?
Very stressful.
When you have to make a decision about which finish.
One do I use?
You're at the paint counter and they're like, what finish do you want? And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Depends on what you're painting.
Yeah, so it's a good thing you're watching this.
What are you painting? Are you painting the walls in your living room?
Yes.
Hallway?
Yes.
Eggshell. Always eggshell.
For the most part, always eggshell. I mean, that's what we recommend.
That's our kind of go-to. 9
times out of 10.
Yes.
There are so many different designers out there that recommend so many different things. And of course, there are exceptions. Bathrooms can be satin.
Yeah.
Kitchens can also be satin.
Yep.
But 9 times out of 10, we're always going to recommend an eggshell. It always cleans up well. It hides a lot. It just works really well.
Yeah.
I feel.
It does.
Feel.
And
we feel.
You don't want to get that like shine on your walls in your living room. When the sun's out, eggshell will eliminate that shine. Whereas the trim, you could do, the semi-gloss or a satin.
Yes.
It's very easy to clean because it does have that shinier texture to it. And that's fine because it doesn't, it'll reflect a little bit, but you don't want your walls sparkling.
Yeah, no sparkling walls. I mean,
you might.
You might.
Could.
Yeah, it was a trend though. It was a trend to have like semi-gloss on all of your walls in your house so that your light bulbs would bounce off, the light would bounce off your living room walls. And we don't want that. We want to avoid
soft
that.
And subtle.
Yes, and calm and warm.
Right.
Yeah,
so eggshell.
Eggshell is our go-to.
Yes.
And then if you're painting your cabinets and your trim, like Amanda said, you want to stick in like the satin semi-gloss like realm. I think our biggest, like what we do the most is like a good like semi-gloss on the trim and like a satin on the cabinets. If you're painting cabinets, I mean, that's a good rule of thumb. So you can kind of run with those.
Again, easy to clean, and cabinets.
Yeah.
Or in the kitchen. You want to be able to clean them off. So.
Absolutely. And then your ceiling is obviously a really ultra flat. You do not want any sheen at all.
Right.
0 on the ceiling.
Right.
And one question we get all the time are front doors. So what do you recommend for front doors?
Oh, front door. So our front door, we did I think we did a semi-gloss.
Yes. That is what I always recommend. Is a semi-gloss or a satin. Or a satin.
Again, easy to clean.
Exactly. And the semi-gloss is really good for any color other than black.
Yes.
I really like if you're doing a blue or a yellow or even a white, semi-gloss is great for a front door. But if you're doing a black, I always kind of push toward the satin because black, like a semi-gloss black looks really shiny. So I try to avoid
I agree. Too much shine. You want that rich look, but not too shiny.
Yeah, exactly.
We did a really dark gray. Maybe a Kendall charcoal.
Oh, okay.
Gray on our door, and we did the semi-gloss. And it worked. It doesn't have very much shine. It's a little bit of shine.
Yeah.
But with the texture of the door, golden.
Yeah, but I would assume that dark gray wouldn't have the same sheen to it that like a Benjamin Moore black would.
No, I think a black is going to have much more of that.
Yes,
that
and
shine.
The reason for that is the LVR.
Yes.
The light reflective value. LRV. Did I just say that wrong? I definitely just said that wrong.
It's fine. You're dyslexic today.
It happens.
He meant LRV.
To be honest with you, I think I say it that way 9 times out of 10. Truly. It's the light reflective value. So the light reflective value in paint is really important, and it kind of goes back to exactly what Amanda was just saying. So the light reflective value of a Benjamin Moore black is probably around like a 9 or like a 5 or something like that. Whereas, did you say Kendall charcoal?
Kendall charcoal
was the front door you had selected.
Yes.
I believe that might be in the teens. Yes. So there's a little bit more light, like reflecting off of the paint, which will take the sheen down a little bit.
Exactly.
So that's probably why it isn't as shiny as maybe like a Benjamin Moore black.
And you have your lighter colors, your white tones, which have a much higher light reflective value.
So light reflective value is very, very important when you're selecting paint color. So always know the light reflective value. Light reflective value basically is the amount of light that reflects off of the paint color and into like what you see, like physically. So for example, very, very light toned colors, like a Simply White, Benjamin Moore, has a very high light reflective value on the scale of light reflective value. So it goes from 0 to 100, and the lighter colors sit at the top.
Exactly.
Darker colors sit at the bottom. And what is important to note about this is the amount of natural light that you have in a space, and you determine the paint color that you choose on that sliding scale based on the light reflective value, and that helps you decide your paint color. So if you have let's say you have a very big room with a lot of natural light, you can actually swing further down on that scale to a lower percentage because the light reflective value off of that paint is going to make the room feel lighter.
Exactly.
So you can play around a little bit more. But if you're in a space that doesn't have a lot of light, maybe it has one window or something, you want to kind of climb that scale a little bit. You want to be at the higher end of that scale, and that's why I typically always recommend going down, going a shade lighter, because typically people don't take into account light reflective value. So that's usually my piece of advice.
Yeah, lighting in space is really huge. And if you have a lot of colors in that room that you're painting, or let's say your furniture is bright bold colors, or you have cabinets that are bright colors, depending on the paint, especially if it's a white, it can pull that color. So when you're looking for paint colors, be really mindful that when you're picking that white paint color, read about it and see, will this pull a lot of green tones or blue tones? Because that will happen. And then you can get a white that will end up looking green on your wall in different lights. So that's really important. Just being aware of what else is in your space, other colors, because that will play off the paint. Flooring,
carpet.
Carpet. Totally.
I mean, the light fixtures, the light bulbs. If you do daylight light bulbs or soft white, I mean, that has a huge, the amber glow, which is like the Edison bulbs, that can make anything look yellow. So then that takes you in a whole different realm. But that's why we're here. We can help you with that. But anyway, going back into light reflective value, we have a few examples for you.
We do.
So might be hard to see on film, but if you look these up, you'll see. You'll see two whites here. And this one here is the Simply White, and this one here is the White Winged Dove. They look very similar. The White Winged Dove has an LVR of 75, and the Simply White has an LVR of 90. So the Simply White LVR is a nice, it's at a higher scale than this one, and that LRV is, or light reflective value, is great for trim, for doors.
Yes.
And let's say the White Winged Dove is much better for the cabinets, bathroom cabinets, kitchen cabinets, things like that. And you can see that these would sit higher on the scale than Amanda's colors, which are, which ones do we have there?
We have, this is Trout Gray.
Okay.
So it's gray, but it does have little hints of green in it, and this has an LRV of 16. And then we have Hail Navy, which is one of our personal favorites.
Love it.
And this is really deep, and this has an LRV of 8.
So you can see how dark that color is as opposed to these, and now you understand the scale of light reflective value. And for example, if you're in a very, very big space with cathedral ceilings and big windows and you want drama, this color could work really well for you. But painting a bedroom with one window and 7-foot ceilings, this color, it's gonna feel cavernous and small. So it's really important to keep in mind light reflective value when you select your paint colors. And of course, we can help with that.
Yes, we can do color consultations. So if you have any questions, email us, give
Yeah.
us a call, and we would be more than happy to help you
Yes.
pick out your paint colors.
And we always recommend Benjamin Moore. We just have like a love affair with Benjamin Moore. We don't like getting anything from them. They should call us, Erica.
We have a ton of paint samples from them though. Like
we do.
Tons of these. And
and these are
swatches,
great.
So we can literally find any color that you want.
My last piece of advice, gotta remember this piece, right? Whenever you're selecting your paint colors, always just get the samples of them and paint the colors on your wall side by side.
Yes, please.
Before you paint your room, and live with it for like a week or two. Live with it in the dark, live with it in the light. Paint it on different walls, opposite of windows, on the same walls as windows. And I promise you, the first hour that it's painted on the wall, you're already gonna have a decision. You'll already know what paint color, but live with it anyway.
Yes.
Because it may change.
It will. With the lighting at different times of the day, look at that paint and the
do not waste your money or your time buying 2 gallons of paint and painting your room. Always, always test it first.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
So, all right. That was a very intense coffee break.
That was.
Because I think we feel passionate. And I obviously don't know like LRV, LVR. I can never, because I'm like dyslexic, but I am excited about my new mug. Does everyone like it? So cute, right? So I'm just excited. That's why I don't have a Josh Ronda's mug right now. Thank you, Amanda. All right, guys, until next time, thank you.
Bye.